So dear students, in the previous lecture we covered file-based system. What are the advantages and disadvantages of file-based system? In this lecture we are going to cover database approaches in comparison to file-based system. So database approach includes one database management system that is responsible for managing all the database. Users that are at the other end, they will use some application programs to communicate with the database, but they cannot communicate directly. They have to send their request to the database management system, and the database management system will be responsible for getting the data from database and return back whatever the return back from the database, that will be transferred to the users. So every user has their own application program, but the database management system is a common to all the user, and every user has to send the request to the database management system. So this is how database management system works. This is the pictorial diagram of same environment. Here at the one end we have a programmer or users that will send the request to the database management system with the help of some program. They are sending the command to the programs, or they are generating the queries. With the help of queries they are going to assess the database. Those programs, the commands from those programs that will pass to the database softwares, and from software they are passing to the software. From software they are passed to some part of the database management system where it is processed. So the system will process the queries that are coming from the user, or will process the queries that are coming from the program. After processing, it is optimizing the query. After optimizing the query, the software to assess the stored data, the information, the query, the request is passed to that particular part of DBMS software that is responsible for assessing the data. Data is stored in the hard disk. Two kind of data is stored. One is the stored database, that is the actual data that we have stored in the database, and another one is called metadata. So metadata is data about data. So that information is also stored in the database. So using that information, the system is capable of finding out the data from the stored database, and it is returned back to the end user. So this is how DBMS system works. So database system comprises of all these things. It includes program, it includes DBMS software, and it includes data itself, where DBMS database management system is responsible only for queuing the process and for getting the data from the database. So this is the overall simplified picture of your database system environment. Now coming to the functionality of DBMS. What is the functionality of a database management system? Any database management system must be able to define a particular database in terms of its data type, structures, and constraints. So everything should be possible in the DBMS. Then it should be capable of constructing or loading the initial database from any of the secondary storage medium. So sometimes we have data in the form of files, in the form of Excel sheets. So our database management system must provide the functionality to load that kind of data from the secondary storage medium to the database itself. Then it should also provide the functionality to manipulate the data. Manipulating includes retrieval of the data, modification of the data, and assessing the database through the web application. So everything should be possible through the DBMS management system, database management system, where retrieval includes querying and generating the reports. Modification includes insertion, deletions, and updations to its content. So everything should be possible. This particular functionality should be provided by the database. Then processing and sharing by set of concurrent users. So concurrent processing must be provided by DBMS. So it is one of the important functionality that should be in any DBMS software, any database management software, that it should be capable of processing and sharing by a set of concurrent users and application program as well, keeping all data valid and consistent. So the processing or the sharing of data should be such that at no time point, at no location, at no you can say at any of the phase, keeping all data should be valid and consistent. So processing and sharing is also one of the important aspect of any DBMS functionality, and any database management system must provide the functionality of a concurrent user or functionality to be able to be used by every database must provide the functionality to share or process the data concurrently by multiple users at the same time. And when they are using the data at the same time, it is the functionality, it is the responsibility of DBMS that it should keep all the data valid and consistent at any given time point. So it is again the important functionality that should provide by the DBMS, any of the DBMS that you are using, that it should keep all the data valid and consistent at any time when it is used simultaneously by the different users. Apart from this, protection and security measure is also the functionality that should be provided by the DBMS software, and maintaining the database and associated program over the lifetime of database application. This is also the functionality of the DBMS software that should be provided by any of the DBMS software. So coming to the example, so it is a small example, mini world, that is about the university environment. In the university environment, we have some students, we have courses, we have sections, we have departments, we have instructors. So all these entities are recognized in the mini world, or that consists of university environment. So in the university environment, we have also some relationships. These are relationships like sections are of specific courses. Students take the section, courses have prerequisite, instructor teach the section, courses are offered by department, and students major in department. So all these are the relationships. As you can see, these all are the nouns in my description. These all are the nouns in my description, and rest of the part, this part is basically your you can say verb. So whatever the verb in the sentence, that verb is defining the relationship. So these kind of relationships are captured by special kind of images, special kind of diagrams. These are called entity relationship model. So we will cover this entity relationship model in detail in the next lectures. So this is example of simple database of university. For every entity, for example, student is an entity, course is an entity, section is an entity, prerequisite is an entity. For every entity, we have to create a database, we have to create a table, separate table. So table name of table is your metadata. So column, every table consists of columns, and every table consists of rows. So we have columns and rows in the table, and name of the columns are basically the attribute of that particular entity, and name of the table is entity itself, and name of table represent the entity, and name of column represent the you can say properties of that particular entity. For example, student has a property name, student number, class, and major. Similarly, course has a property, course name, course number, credit hours, and department. So all these are the properties, and whatever on the rows, those are called entities. So these are actual entity that we are going to store. So we have first entity whose name is Smith, and student number is 17, and class is 1, and major is CS. So all these are called fields. So student number is one field, class is another field, major is another field, name is another field. So these fields have values. So for example, Smith is the value, 17 is the value, 1 is the value, and CS is the value. So main characteristics of database approach we are going to discuss in this particular slide, that it should be self-describing. So self-describing nature of database system includes that database system has a catalog. So that catalog stores the description of a particular database, that for example, what is the data structure to store this particular information, what are the data types, what are the constraints. All this information is stored in the catalog in the form of table in the database itself, and this description is called metadata. So this is important. What is metadata? So metadata is data about data. So the information that is stored in the database itself about the data that we are going to store, that information is called metadata, and this allows the software to work with different database applications, because every application requires this kind of information, and this kind of information can be obtained from the catalog. Then there is an insulation between program and data. So a database approach provides the insulation between programs and data. This is called program data independence. This is called program data independence, that allows the changing of the data structure and storage organization without having to change the database access program. So if we change the database location, for example from C drive to D drive, then this change should not affect the program in any way. So this is called program data independence. The next point is that DBMS should support of multiple views of the data, that each user may see a different view of database which describes only the data of interest to that user. So this means a manager should be able to see the different kind of information from the same database, and you can say manager then supervisor should be able to see the different kind of information from the same database. So it should be possible in the database approach that multiple views of the same data can be created, and which describe only that part of the data that are interested to the end user. Sharing of data and multi-user transaction processing is also important characteristics of any database approach, where it allows the concurrent users to retrieve from and to update the database. Concurrent user means more than one, that means two or more than two users can simultaneously access the data at the same time. So concurrency control within database management system guarantees that each transaction is correctly executed or aborted. Either the transaction will be completed. If it is completed, then it will be completed correctly and it should be correctly executed. Otherwise, if it should not be completed, then it should be aborted. So this kind of operations can be done only when we have write operation in the transaction. So for the reading operation, everything is fine, but for the writing operation we have the problem. For example, if one person try to write and second person also try to write the same variable, only the person that is writing it in last, only that value will retain. So the value that is written by the first person, that will be overwritten by the second person. So the value of first person will get lost. So it is the responsibility of concurrence control management system to either correctly execute the transaction or abort it. So if it is such kind of case, then as per some algorithm, it is the responsibility of transaction management concurrency control management system to abort the transaction which may cause some conflict. So the another characteristics of this database approach is recovery system, recovery subsystem. So that is to ensure each completed transaction has its effect permanently recorded in the database. Similarly, each failed transaction is rolled back. So due to some problem, if some problem occurs, then it is the responsibility of recovery subsystem that every transaction that is completed before the failure should be recorded permanently. That means that it should be implemented, and every transaction that is failed before the crash, before the problem, then that transaction should be rolled back. So this is again the responsibility of recovery subsystem, and it is one of the characteristics of database approach. Also, database approach provides OLTP. OLTP means online transaction processing. So it is also one of the characteristics of database approach. That is a major part of database applications. This allow hundreds of concurrent transactions to execute per second. So now coming to the advantages of using database approach. The very first advantage is that it controls the redundancy. It controls the redundancy in the data storage and in development and maintenance efforts. Redundancy is the duplication of data. When we have data at the different locations, for example, if we are using file-based system, then in the file-based system, chances are that the same information can be placed into different files. So that leads to redundancy, and redundancy cause some problem. These are called anomalies. So we have inconsistency of the data. That means data is not matching in two different files. That kind of problems are arises due to the redundancy. Second advantage of database approach is that restricting the unauthorized access to data. It can restrict the unauthorized access. Third advantage is that providing persistent storage for program objects. Whatever the objects that are created in a program, those objects can be stored permanently in the database management system. So those objects may acquire some values during the processing of program, and after processing, if you want to store those values, you can use the database management system. Then providing storage structure. It provides the indexes. So indexes are some storage structure that improves the query execution time. So it provides the storage structure indexes for efficient query processing. Another advantage of database approach is that it provides the backup and recovery facility, providing multiple interface to different classes of user. That is also the advantage of database management system. Another advantage of database approach is representing the complex relationship among the data, enforcing the integrity constraint on the database, and permitting action using active rules like triggers and stored procedures. Apart from these, we have a potential for enforcing some standard. For example, if we are using database system, then we can enforce the data naming, data item names convention. We can force the user to use some specific display formats, screens, reports. So we can enforce the standard for all of these things. Reduced application development time. With the help of DBMS approach, we can reduce the application development time. It also provides the flexibility to change the data structures. That means data independence. Here, when requirements are changing, we can have to change the data structure also. But by changing the data structure, program should not be changed. So this kind of flexibility can be provided by database approach. Then availability of current information is possible in the case of database approach, which is extremely important for online transaction system such as airline reservation, hotel reservation, car reservation. So all these kind of information where the current information is required, so that kind of information is possible with the help of database approach. Then economies of scale. This means with the help of database approach, you can remove the redundant resource. We can remove the wasteful overlapping of the resources and the personnel as well, and you can consolidate the data and application across the different departments. That means in this way you are providing the economies of the scale to the system. So that is all about database approaches and its characteristics. I hope you now are able to compare database approaches with the file-based system, and you are able to find out which one is better. So if still you have some doubt, you can discuss with me at any time.